Okay. Welcome back into our next leg in our race around the world here at the Pitstop Pals, part of the Reality Realm Network. My name is Kevin Oliver.
And my name is Bruce Heller.
Wow, no question mark today, Bruce.
I'm more confident than usual today about my name.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm also just exhausted right now.
Did you go to bed late?
No, yesterday was just a really long day that had a lot of different events I had to be at. So,
Yes, yes.
like, yesterday felt like three different days for me by
That's
5
fair.
o'clock.
We we are coming to you a little bit later this week as Bruce has had to be away for some family stuff. Condolences to you and your family, Bruce, on
Thank
the
you.
loss of your grandpa.
Everything went really well yesterday. It was just funeral service followed by a long procession out to a cemetery that was not close to where we were and we couldn't use highways because funeral procession. And then lunch and dinner at my grandparents' church, and then going to the funeral home to gather flowers and everything. And so by the time I got back home at like 5 p.m., it felt like it had been 3 days.
Hmm.
So at least I get to just sit in my car and not do anything for most of today.
Well, I hope you're paying attention to the road.
Well, I am, but I like it doesn't require a ton of thinking or like doing things or hustle and bustle. I'm just sitting.
Right, but man, one of those drives they can wear on you.
Yeah, I've got my music and I'll have a big cup of Mountain Dew with me. I've got a Dairy Queen cup of Coke Zero here right now. So
I can't believe you're drinking something other than Mountain Dew. Wow.
Dairy Queen has Coke products. They have
Well,
Mountain Dew access.
mellow yellow.
It wasn't on the fountain and Mellow Yellow tastes weird to me. Ah, so let's dive in. Episode 2 of season 16.
Yes, Amazing Race season 16 episode 2, When the Cow Kicked Me in the Head. Do you know who said that, Bruce?
That was the grandma. I don't know if it's Jody or Shannon. I get them confused.
Jody. Her name is Jody.
Okay.
Do you have any quotes from this episode?
I actually have more than normal. I was sitting on this very couch in my grandparents' basement watching the episode last night. So
Bring it.
I have "Oh My Gravy," which was said 2 times, I think. That must just be a common phrase for the Cowboys, which is kind of funny.
Hmm.
I have "I like my women to drive me around." That just made me laugh for some reason.
Right.
I have "I hope we don't have to do any swimming. I didn't bring trunks. Dot dot dot. I went skinny dipping once.
Yes. From the Cowboys.
Yeah. And then this is two quotes, but it's a conversation. I have,
Okay.
"Are we in San Juan?" And the response is, "No, we're in San Jose," which was funny enough already. But then she goes and spells Jose, and she spells it Hose.
Yep.
San Jose, like a
Was
garden.
that was that Jeff and Jordan?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, San Jose's in California, and that's not how you spell it. So that was double funny.
Hmm. Was that all of them?
Yes.
All righty. I've got
No, I have "Bestie, if you did that while I was milking you, we would have had problems."
I think it was Bessie.
I thought he said either way.
Yeah.
Same quote. Just
Yeah, I think he was given like that stereotypical cow name.
I think he was calling the cow his bestie.
I don't think so.
Now I'm curious, but not enough to go back and watch it again just to find out one quote. What you got?
I have um it's weird that dogs speak Spanish,
Yeah, kind of.
which Jeff was trying to convince Jordan. He goes, "Well, they don't speak English, so they must speak Spanish." There's some kind of logic there. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Steph and Jordan are hilarious, and it's not on purpose. It's just them trying to figure things out.
Well, Jordan is the stereotypical blonde that Carol and Brandy are acting like Katie is.
Yeah, Jordan. People, I like Jordan. I'm not. I don't mean this as an insult, but people like her are why dumb blonde jokes exist.
Yes, very true. I got the Cowboys are the most magical people ever. That was from Brent. I've been skinny dipping once or twice. I only wrote that back half of that quote. Um, Llama Whisperer you are, is what Jet said to Cord. Um, the mommies are beating our ass. That was Michael. I have a conversation here, I think. Oh, don't tell Jet I got to eat this, says Cord. Jet says, was it hard? And he says, yeah, it was so hard you'd never have been able to do it. Talking about the roadblock.
I have a question, by the way.
What?
So Jet left that pie thing behind and said, "Don't tell him I got to eat a
No,
piece."
that was Cord.
Either way, that got left behind and said, "Don't tell my partner." When Michael and Louis do that later, he brings the whole thing to his partner.
Yeah.
So did he not? Was that not required to be left behind? Then he could have brought that to him and just chose to don't
He
tell
just
him.
chose to eat it himself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When that happened, I'm like, okay, that they have to leave this behind. But then Michael and Louis did it. I'm like, oh, he could have brought it. That makes it funnier.
Yeah, he chose to eat it himself instead of bring it to Jet to try.
I love that. I do you.
This is perfect for you. It's in the kitchen, is what Joe said to Heidi.
I mean, it's kind of funny, but that wouldn't. Yeah,
What one has a nice big udder?
I remember hearing that. I don't know why I didn't write it down.
Heidi said that. I don't know why, but it would be a moral victory to beat Brent and Katie today, Brandy says.
Yeah, I got nothing.
What? Why is that a moral victory?
I don't know.
Then Brent told the cow, you smell like ass.
Yeah, cows tend to do that.
And then when they were at the llama, when Jody and Shannon were at the llamas, Jody walked up to the llama singing La Cucaracha, La Cucaracha.
Yeah, I'm not sure why.
Me either, but it was funny. From Dan, you were a little foamy at the end there, Gus. He called the cow Gus and then turned around and said, okay, Bessie, if you'd done that when I was milking you, we wouldn't be friends. So he called the cow Gus and then turned around and called the cow Bessie. Then I got to know that cow pretty intimately from Michael.
Yeah,
And the last quote I have is let's drive it like we stole it. Also from Michael.
nice.
Yes, sir. All right, so into the leg here, we travel back from Valparaiso, Chile to Santiago by bus. We are staying in Chile this week, by the way.
We are.
We travel back to Santiago by bus, where you'll board another bus for the 575-mile trip to Puerto Viras. Then drive to a lake, take a boat, and then climb up to a place called Mirador to get your next clue. But the bus station opens at 5, so all the teams will be there by by then. So they'll all get the same bus from Valparaiso to Santiago. And we get some confessionals here. Dan and Jordan are underestimating the Cowboys, saying
Yeah.
they don't think they're going to be around much longer. Spoiler alert, the Cowboys won the leg. So screw you, Dan and Jordan.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Way to spoil it for me.
At least I said spoiler alert first.
True.
Hey, also, like you've said before, as many years as have passed since this season aired,
Yeah,
If you haven't seen it by now, then I don't feel bad.
yeah, agreed.
We have Brent and Katie don't like Brandy and Carol because Brandy and Carol were making fun of them.
Understandable.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. And Carol and Brandy, speaking of, they are aligning with Joe and Heidi,
Yeah,
which I don't love for them because I don't like Joe.
kind of not a huge fan of either team right now, so I'm fine with it.
That's fair. And all teams, like I said, are on one bus. But once they get to Santiago, you get in line to get your tickets to go to Puerto Vera and or Veres. And Joe and Heidi are holding spots in line for Carol and Brandy, and Louie and Michael are not a fan.
I wasn't quite with you on Joe last week. I get it after this.
Mhm.
This is stupid.
I was ahead of the game on Joe. I'll just say
Yeah,
it.
I'm with Louis and
um,
Michael on this completely.
what?
I'm completely with Louis and Michael on this line thing.
Yeah, especially because of what ended up transpiring because of it, as Carol and Brandy and Joe and Heidi get the only four tickets on the first bus. That
Yeah,
should have it should have been Joe and Heidi and Louie and Michael.
yeah. But some teams get the idea here to connect through another city, which is actually quicker,
Yes. So
which opens a
there
different can of worms.
yes. Okay, but there's three buses that are leaving that night as direct buses from Santiago to Puerto Veras. One at 5:30 that's going to arrive the next morning at 7 a.m. One at 7:45 that's going to arrive the next morning at 8:15, and one at 8:30 that'll arrive the next morning at 9 a.m. And like you said, there's some people that get the idea to, or actually that are told by locals that they might be able to go faster if they do a connecting bus instead. But there is a risk to doing a connecting bus. But these three teams of Jet and Cord, Jeff and Jordan, and Brent and Katie roll the dice and get on buses to um
Tamuka.
yes, Temuco, where they will then hop on another bus to Puerto Vera. Um, so Jeff and Jordan and Jet and Cord and Brent and Katie all get these. Jeff and Jordan and Brent and Katie are working together while Jet and Cord do it on their own. And so that bus left basically right away while all these other people are waiting until really later to leave. And it got to Temecula or Temuco by 6:15. And Jet and Cord have a bus that is supposed to connect at 7 in Temuco. So they get there at 6:15. Bus is supposed to connect at 7. While the other two, Jeff and Jordan and Brent and Katie, have a bus that's supposed to leave at 6:30, but they are in the wrong terminal for that.
And they don't know it, but Jet and Cord do, which is hilarious.
Yes, because Jet and Cord go to try to switch to that earlier bus and then find out that they're not in the right spot to do so. So instead, they stand there waiting for their bus and watch Jeff and Jordan and Brent and Katie's plans fall away. And way too late, Jeff and Jordan and Brent and Katie realize that they're at the wrong spot. And so they try to go to that terminal, but they missed it. And so they tried to race back to Jet and Cords, and they also missed that bus. And that was
Okay.
the last bus leaving until 1 a.m.
Yep.
And so they get the 1 a.m. bus, and they still get there before anybody, or I guess the first Santiago bus gets there, and they get there right after. So they still are ahead of two of the three buses out of that were straight shots from Santiago. Um, the 5:30 direct out of Santiago was Heidi and Jonah, Brandy and Carol. Um, The 745 was Stephen Alley, Louie and Michael, Monique and Sean, and Dan and Jordan. And the 830 bus, to round it all out, were Jody and Shannon. Um, Jet and Cord arrive way before anybody else. But when you get to where they're supposed to climb up to Mirador and get their next clue, the trail doesn't open until 7:30 a.m. Um, but once it does, nobody else is there yet, so Jet and Cord still have a little lead. We also see Jeff is carrying Jordan's bags up this trail, and he still is significantly ahead of her. Jordan's not very good at endurance, I would say.
This was a good episode for content for teams that have someone named Jordan in it.
Yeah, speaking of teams with Jordan,
Because Dan and Jordan had a scene at some point, I remember, but forgot to write down where it is in the episode, where one of them's driving and can't get the car moving, and so they switch seats, and it turns out the emergency brake was on.
yes. Speaking of, that's literally where we are. As
Right.
Jordan of Dan and Jordan is struggling at stick. And like you said, they switched and it was literally needed to take the e-brake off. They later don't know how to reverse in a stick and push the car back, which, to be fair, we saw Jag and Jazz do that in 38 and win the race. So,
Yeah. I also
um,
don't know how to drive stick, so I'm not going to throw shots at them for sure.
I'll throw shots at them because if I was to go on this race, I would sure know how to drive stick beforehand.
I mean, yeah, it's the equivalent of going on Survivor and not knowing how to make fire. But in this case, I don't know how to do it either, so I don't have much room to talk.
It's the equivalent, but I would almost argue that this is more important than knowing how to do fire on Survivor.
It, possibly.
Because you have a multitude of other people that could help you do the fire.
Yeah, but if you get to the like fire making it four and it's just you, then you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, but that's a completely but you have at that point you have 26 days to try to learn
Well,
or 25.
25. There's still people that get there and like the day of don't know what they're doing practicing it at camp though.
Well, they're idiots.
I agree, but it still happens.
Yeah, I'm just saying I think that um drive not knowing how to drive stick and going on the race has much more uh quickly and severe repercussions.
Yeah, for sure.
But once you get up to the top of Mirador and get your clue, we find out it is detour time. You can choose between Llama Adoration or Condor Consternation. Do you want to explain these, Bruce?
Yeah. So in one of them, you properly dress up a llama with a scarf and a blanket over its back in order to receive the next clue. And I'll describe it better, but my first description for the other one is dress up like a bird and try to fly. It's a bit more than dressing up like a bird. The costume kind of has a hang glider built into it, and you have to fly to a certain point. But
But
dress
none of them
like a bird
fly
and
to
try to
that
fly.
point.
What?
None of them actually fly to that point.
No, but in the description he said they had to, so I wrote it down.
Yeah,
I don't
they
know
just,
what happened there if they didn't know how difficult it was when they were picking where the point was or what. But yeah, nobody reaches that.
I think they knew. I think they knew that when they did it. The people who chose to do the llama are Jet and Cord, Heidi and Joe, Brandy and Carol, Louie and Michael, Monique and Sean, Dan and Jordan, and Jody and Shannon, while Brent and Katie, Jeff and Jordan, and Steve and Allie all choose to do Condor Consternation. Which one would we do, Bruce?
Probably the llamas.
Oh, I was thinking Condor.
I don't know. The llamas was my initial reaction, and then, like you said, nobody was able to do the bird one correctly. So I think the
But
llamas is the
it's
easy one.
basically just jumping into the water and swimming to your target.
True. The llama one looks more fun to me.
but I'm also trying to win.
Yeah.
And if you get a stubborn llama, you could be there for a while.
See, I think if your llama's acting stubborn, just try a different one. There's a whole herd of them there. You don't have to keep trying the same one if it's not working.
Okay, well, I think it's still merit to the point of
Yeah.
jumping into the water and swimming to it
No, that makes sense for sure.
is going to be quicker, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Once you finish the detour, you're to drive yourselves to Onces Bella Vista Farm for your next clue. We see Joe get kicked by a llama here, and then they were smart and went for the one that was laying down.
Yeah, that was smart.
Dan and Jordan got lost and are arguing about it. And I just gotta say, every time we get a confessional from Jody, I love her. I think she is the sweetest human to ever run this race.
Yeah. It's kind of the opposite of Carol and Brandy, where I started out liking them, and the more they kind of annoy me, the more content we get from them.
Mm,
Especially with how they are about Katie for no reason.
yeah.
That 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 annoys me. But Jody's amazing. I love her.
And now it's roadblock time. Collect ingredients. Do you want to explain this?
Yeah. So you're collecting ingredients. The real answer that wasn't meant to get a reaction is we're collecting ingredients to make kuchen, and including a plate of butter, a bowl of sugar, and a bag of flour, and a baker's dozen of eggs from a hen house, and a cup of milk from a cow. And then we deliver them to the baker in order to receive a serving of kuchen and get our next clue that takes us to the pit stop.
Yes. And the people who did this roadblock were Cord, Carol, Heidi, Brent, Jeff, Steve, Monique, Dan, Jody, and Michael. And once you complete it, you're going to drive to Grata de la Virgen in Portaveras for your pit stop.
Yes.
Carol got kicked in the head too. It wasn't just Jody.
Are we checking them for concussions afterwards? I hope CBS is. Getting kicked in the head could be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
I assume after they reach the finish line, even though spoiler alert, Jody and Shannon go home, for example. I'd like to think medical checks Jody for a concussion because Cal, I assume, kicked pretty hard.
Yeah, I would really hope that I'm not sure what year this was, but I hope at this point in life that they were the life of this show that they were treating their
They
uh
definitely would check them now for sure.
players. Yeah,
I assume
absolutely.
they did that.
Detectives, Louis and Michael, they saw the sign for the farm and then just drove past it
They're very fun, but I can't figure out what they're doing half the time.
because they don't know what they're doing half the time.
They're very fun. They're not great at the game yet.
Yes, I would agree. And then Monique also got kicked in the face. And then we see Jet and Cord, our team number one, and they win a sailboat each.
Yeah, they win sailboats. That's an awesome prize.
Yeah. Joe and Heidi come in as team two, Carol and Brandy as team four, and Brent and Katie as team four. Carol and Brandy were team three, my bad. And because Michael and Louie drive past and drive all the way 19 miles into Puerto Veras, they are now known in the bottom third as the team in last place.
Mm-hmm.
But Jeff and Jordan are looking for the pit stop in Puerto Veras and find them and tell them, you got to go 19 miles back to this thing. And so they head back. And then Monique and Sean check in as team five, and Jeff and Jordan is team six. And then Michael and Louie finally get back to the farm where Jody and Shannon are already at. And Michael thinks he grabbed butter that was what he needed, but it wasn't. It was actually in the kitchen, not at the pantry where they needed to be. But he slipped in the kitchen and fell and broke the plate with all the butter on it.
Yeah.
And then where we get the title of the episode as Jody almost has a cup full of the milk from the cow when it kicks her in the head and she spills it.
Yeah.
Then we have Steve and Allie, team seven. Dan and Jordan come in as team eight. And now we have Louie and Michael and Jody and Shannon racing for the pit stop as they both finished at very close proximity to one another. And Louie and Michael are team number nine. Jody and Shannon come in last, team number 10, and
Yeah.
are eliminated.
Sad.
It is sad. Like I said, Jody's probably the sweetest person to ever play this game.
He hit us with the may be eliminated, by the way, and it wasn't an NEL. I like to point out when that happens.
Well, I think it's pretty regular back in the day.
True. He doesn't do that near as often now, though, so I'm in the habit of pointing it out.
Correct. But if I remember right, you'll hear it like every time until maybe the very end after we've had all the NELs of the season.
I like that, though. I like not knowing that when he says may, it's pretty likely to be an NEL.
Yeah, I
He
mean, I
did that
wish
once this past season because I remember thinking he tricked me into thinking it was an NEL, and it
he
was.
tricked us twice in a row.
Yeah,
I think that the language should always say maybe.
I agree.
Even on a season with no NELs.
Even on the second to last leg, when you know one team has to be eliminated, still say may just for the fun of it.
Hey, look back at 25.
True. That was a fun reaction.
Yeah, we had four teams in the finale. And the NEL team won the show.
And the other teams were not happy the NEL team was in the finale.
I wouldn't have been either.
No, I know. I agree.
I don't think they should do that ever again.
No, but just say may. Heck, even say may be eliminated in the finale. Just let's get wild with it. But yeah, I don't like will be eliminated. That gives away the ending.
Yeah. And then we had a next time on, and Brandy and Carol are interrogating my boys Jet and Cord. She
Remember
wants,
at the premiere when I said something along the lines of I needed more information to decide what I thought of Brandy and Carol?
yeah.
I'm getting that information and it's not boding well for them.
I still don't mind them.
They're just so I don't know what the word is, uppity, I guess. They think they're better than everyone, it feels like.
I mean, they are, and they're prissy, like I like
They're
I
they're
said when
funny, they're
describing them.
just so arrogant about it.
Yeah, they are.
That's the word I was looking for. In
Um,
the case of Katie, they're judgy for no reason.
yeah,
They think she's dumb and no offense, girl Jordan. I like you a lot. You're way dumber.
yes,
San Jose, HOSE,
that's right.
as they're not in California. They're in Chile.
Very different.
Yeah. Chili tastes.
Oh, power rankings.
Yeah.
Who do you got in ninth, Bruce?
I like them a lot. They're great content. I don't want to lose them, but Louie and Michael are here.
Yep, me too.
Like, they're already last place, and I'm not convinced they know what they're doing.
I was kind of convinced they were going home this week.
They got lucky and ran into another team, or they would have gone home.
Absolutely.
Dan and Jordan saved their life.
No, Jeff and Jordan.
Jeff and Jordan. One of the Jordan teams, Jordan and Jordan.
That's right.
That'd be a
Who you
fun
got at
team to watch.
8?
At 8, I'm gonna keep finishing order so far and go Dan and Jordan for the sole purpose of driving issues and like having so much trouble driving you have to switch spots, and the thing was you had the parking brake on.
That's
Like,
fair.
we got to get it together in the car, guys.
I don't think they're going anywhere.
I don't either, but they had a rough week this week.
Yeah, I have Stephen Alley here.
They're next.
They're pretty mid back middle of the pack, and I just don't think that they're in it for the long haul, unfortunately.
I was going back and forth Steve and Allie, Dan and Jordan at 7 and 8, and the car thing pushed Dan and Jordan under the other for me.
I have Dan and Jordan at 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt for what I think they can do
Yeah,
and what I expect from them. And so
that's
I
fair.
moved them up one.
They have a lot of potential. This was not a good week for them, especially
Yeah.
the car.
Who you got at 6?
At 6, I'm gonna go Monique and Sean here.
Interesting.
And I almost went Jeff and Jordan, but two things. I got tired of doing finishing order, and I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt of they've won a leg, so maybe they're not as bad as their struggles this week were.
I have Carol and Brandy here.
That's fair.
Um, I don't think this week's finishing order is reflective of necessarily the skill of the
It's
teams.
not at the top. It is at the bottom, I think.
Yes. But at 7 or after, like the bottom three are clear for me. Beyond that, I think that it's very
It's a
up in the air.
jumbled mess after
Yeah.
that.
So who do you have at 5?
At 5, this is Carol and Brandy. They
Okay.
they finished third. I don't think they're as good as third. I think they're teams that are better than them. Like you said, the top of the finishing order is not super reflective of the teams.
I had Jeff and Jordan here.
Yeah,
Because yes, they did finish first last week, but they finished literally as team number 6 here, and we saw that they aren't going to be as dominant as we
yeah.
thought they were going to be, I don't think.
And I have them at 4. I don't think
Okay.
they'll be as dominant as that first place was. I also just don't think they're as bad of a team as they were this week.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I still think
I have Joe.
they're
Go
not a
ahead.
super smart team, but they're good in other ways.
Yeah. I
So
have Joe and Heidi here.
nice.
They have proven to be pretty good. I honestly would take the 3 teams I've put ahead of them ahead of Joe and Heidi. But I also might have a little bit of bias because I can't stand Joe.
Is Joe as bad for you as Jonathan was?
No.
Okay, well that's nice.
He's also not as bad as Vinny was.
If you had said yes, he's worse than Jonathan, the next level I was going to was going to be Patrick. And then after Patrick, it would have been Kelly. That's kind of the ranking. That's I had that whole thing planned out, but you said no to the first one. So
Yeah. I don't think anybody on this season is bad enough to be that high on my dislike list.
no,
As my top 3. Just for top 4 dislike. I can't believe you didn't bring Vinny into that.
I forgot about Vinny.
Yeah.
But we should just put Patrick on every season, honestly.
No. But nobody gets as much dislike from me as Kelly.
Enzo might
No.
pair Patrick and Enzo on every season together. Just
That's gross.
have them be the resident team that's always there.
I'm gonna retire from this show.
See how many times they go home first.
I hope all of them.
I bet it would be a lot. I don't see them working well together.
That's fair. All right, who do you have at 3?
At number 3, I have Brent.
Brent and
Yeah, this
Katie.
is Brent and Katie. Sorry,
You're okay.
couldn't read my writing. Well, I typed it, but I had trouble reading it for a second.
Okay, Brent and Katie.
They're really strong, and they get made fun. She gets made fun of by Carol and Brandy for being dumb, but I honestly think they're a better team. So jokes on Carol and Brandy, I guess.
Yeah.
So
I have
for no
Monique
reason.
and Sean here.
What?
I have Monique and Sean here.
That's a good one. I like them. I think they'll climb my rankings pretty quickly.
I think they're like low key really good at this.
Yeah.
Um, because no matter where they find themselves at, they are always climbing. I think we saw them run a really good first leg. Then this week, they getting to um Portaveras, they were sitting in eighth place. They finished in fifth place. We always see them climbing, and I think that like I feel good about them.
Yeah, that's fair.
Who do you have at two?
Two is Joe and Heidi. I don't dislike him as much as you do. I'm not a huge fan of his after the line saving thing, but they're a strong team.
Yeah, I have Brent and Katie here. Um, I think they're better than both the teams that finished second and third.
I'm okay with that. I like them a lot.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
been
Like I said,
over here for a long time.
yeah, and I think that I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah.
And that means we both have the same number one, Jet and Cord.
Second and then first. They kind of have to be.
Yeah, and it was a pretty wide margin, I feel like. They were never really running with anybody in this leg.
Yeah. I think that's because of the buses, and then they just kept that
But
momentum going.
yeah, but I mean, it shows us that they consistently are making good decisions
Yeah.
and doing well at the tasks.
Yeah, for sure.
And so yeah, we had our we bookended our power rankings, and then we had a lot of craziness in the middle.
Yeah, the middle's just kind of a jumbled up mess. I don't think there's a definitive correct order there.
Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, this was fun.
It was.
Yeah, and so guys, make sure to check out all of our Reality Realm coverage. Tribal Council chat is in their off season right now. It'll be not very long before we are drafting for Survivor 50. Um, Make sure to check out. Did New Generation Challenge podcast ever do their final episode?
If they did, I forgot to post the audio for it or didn't see them send it to me, so I don't know.
Okay, well, we might still be waiting on a wrap up of the finale and reunion show for Generation Challenge podcast. Um, as 41 wrapped up, and make sure to check out Roundtable Talk where we are covering Traitors season 4 that started with the 3 episode last week, a 2 episoder this week, and is really, really fun.
It is.
Make sure to check out all of our socials: TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. You can find us at any of them. Give us that uh, subscribe, follow, whatever it is for your given choice of site. And with all of that being said, buy our Redbubble merch. But with all of that being said, the world is waiting for you. Good
Travel
luck.
safe.
Go.
Go.